Thank you, sister. Good afternoon, brother and sister Dharma. Today we will carry on from last session. Okay, this afternoon we will cover the last chapter on this Abhidhamma. Quite interesting topic. We will cover things like death, the moment of death, then how you seek for rebirth, and then carry on with your next life. So these are interesting topic, and as a Buddhist, we should know how we are going to die and how our next life will be. So this thing, in a way, you will learn it, you prepare it, so that at the moment you need to use it, you know what you're doing, rather than frightening. So very interesting. So every one of us should know about this. Every one of us has a chance to die, to get rebirth again in whatever mode, in whatever realm where we will be in the next existence. So it's called the process free, or what I call Vīthimutta Saṅgaha Vibhāgo. Okay, 5 topics we'll cover inside here. The 4-plane existence, this one I think we covered earlier in I think year 1 or year 2. This 4-plane existence we'll go repeat again. And then the next interesting one is the 4 types of rebirth. And then the 4 types of karma. And the 4 ways which result. I mean this karma vipaka operate. And then procedure of the moments of death and rebirth. So this is a pretty interesting topic, and try to learn as much as you can. I can give you whatever I can source. Okay, so end of this slide, please go and read the Bhikkhu Bodhi book. He gives you a very good understanding of what this process is about. So to define what is a word called Vīthimutta Saṅgaha Vibhāgo, is one of the section in Abhidhamma Pitaka, okay? Of the 3 divisions of Pali Canon in the Theravada Buddhism. The Abhidhamma Pitaka is a detail explaining about the philosophical and psychological analysis of the Buddha teaching. So some students, especially in my Pali college, they very interesting in the philosophical side. But Abhidhamma is the other one, the psychological side, which we need to know as a Buddhist. So you all are blessed to know all this, which is applicable to the whole process of Buddhist study. Vibhanga or Vibhāgo is the second book of Abhidhamma Pitaka and divided into 18 chapters. So each analyzing different aspects of Dhamma. So the other term, Vīthimutta Saṅgaha Vibhāgo, the word refers to a specific subsection analysis within the Vibhanga that deals with the classification and organization of mental processes. So even there, there's a process how to go through each step, and the paths or the methods. Method is called Vitti in relation to liberation, Mutta. Okay, so this is time we're going to study too. So in the Abhidhamma, Vitti refers to the cognitive process. I mean, the process of the understanding of how each after another, or the series of mental events, more of a sort called mental events that occur in the mind, while the Mutta means liberated or free. So this section would thus focus on how mental process lead to and are associated with liberation, which is a central goal in Buddhist practice. So unless you are of Arahant standard, then you are on the path to liberation. Like us, we are still laymen. We have many more existence to go through. So here you explain the mental process. The death is actually more of a mental process. The stages of mental happening outside the active thought series is called the chitta vritti. Okay, and we also go to the moments of death, chutti. So chutti is the consciousness that will cut off the whole body. Then that's the end of life. So once chutti is as a last task, there's to cut off the human life, and the whole rupa will, in a matter of stages, will slowly disintegrate, and then rebirth. And we talk about patisandhi, how rebirth going to occur, and as life continues, bhavanga. So one rebirth takes place, the life continuing consciousness will continue again. So this process is no end. Okay. So basically, in Theravada Buddhism, the moment you death is a rebirth, and then it's carry on. Unlike the other sect, which they practice said there's a 49 days, there's some sort of like halfway house for you to ponder before you come to the next existence. So we don't go and argue about that. So we Theravada just stick with what we are taught. This is a recall of the 31 RAM existence which we've been taught earlier years. So you have to go through for understanding. Okay. So the lowest one, Niraya, I mean the hell one, Tira Chanya Yoni, the animal one, and then the Peta Visaya, the Peta one, and then the Asura Kayo is a demon. So if to be born down here, it's called Apaya, it's a woeful state, it's called the plains of suffering. Okay, so these four belong to so-called the sensual world. So very unfortunate people will come back to this, especially Niraya, pretty difficult unless you committed a very serious sin. Other than that, you will not. The likely one, according to some texts, it said is animal. Animal is very easy to be reborn there. So we have to be very careful. It's very easy to go animal world. And then the human world is a blessing. We have all the faculty, all the things we can experience it. Okay, so human world is the best of the best. Okay, although we have very short, limited time, especially last time they can live, survive to 100 years. Now already 60 to 70, you are very lucky. So if you practice, really practice, you can go to the other Brahma world, like the Chatu Maharaja Jika, the four, what I call the four guard down there, stationed down there. So we have a term down there. You are born in that particular is another realm. And then Tawa Tim Sam, you all know, then Yama, Tusita, Nirarati, and Paranita Vasati. So here, these six are considered six heaven. Okay, okay. These are easily when you talk about Mahayana, they always talk about this. So all these here, 11 of them, these are called the Kama sensual or sensual planes, where the five senses are prevalent. Even in the other six heaven, they have at least two of these senses still around. Okay. Then we have heaven even higher than that. We have the Brahma Parisaja, Brahma Purohita, and Maha-Brahma. Remember those in the year one, when Buddha was pondering whether to teach the teaching of to the mass, he was very reluctant and he wouldn't want to impart this knowledge. This Maha-Brahma, he came down to plead the Buddha until Buddha relented and then start teaching to the masses. So this is the plane where this Maha-Brahma come about. So you can achieve to this plane if you practice on the first jhana. When you absorption, you regularly do this absorption jhana. So you're able to reborn into this kind of Maha-Brahma kind of status. So if you go further, you practice slightly another second higher jhana, you can attain to Paritaba, Apamanaba, and then Abhasara. So this is considered second jhana plane. And if you keep on practicing jhana, you can go to the third, upgrade yourself to this third one. It's a Parita Subha, Appamana Subha, and Subha Kanina. So this is considered as the third jhana plane. So if you practice even higher, you can get to Viha Pala Asana Sata. This is a fourth jhana. So all these one, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4. Four of them are considered as 16 planes are called the Rupa Loka or the fine material planes. I mean, the Rupa is of very supple form. So here you only mainly have vision and hearing and the mind. So you don't have things like all the kind of senses which the earlier sensual world has it. So some even have only the mind only. And then when you go further up, I mean you break through the formless one. You have the Aviha, Atapa, Sudasa, Sudasi, Akinta. So this is called the Sudasa. Not all Arahant straight away go to Nibbana. So some Arahant are qualified to stay here. They come here and then they are born to here, or what I call pure aborts, or the only Agadami also is born here. So they still stay here, they practice, and then upon reaching that time span, then they will go to this so-called Nibbana. So this is 31 realm existence. These are in Pali. If you want, you can check the English one. So basically, all these form the 31 realm existence. Okay? So this is a run through you all have completed in the early year. So even higher, then you have, sorry, it's not, here is only part of it. There's another one. The other one is the formless one. This is Akanasa Chayatanaya Vina Chatayatanaya Achi Chayaya Tanaya and Neva Sana Sana Yataya. Here is a formless one. Here formless one are those non-material planes. Some only have mind only, I mean, they have only the mind sort of thing. They can live very, very long years. So here, according to some of the texts, the Buddha said, you're born here, it's unlikely you will get to Rimma because you live so long, and then you don't have all the senses, only the mind. It's very hard to get liberated. So some of the texts put that. So you just look through and read through. Some texts they talk about this called mind prevalent type. So the next one we go through It is how this breakthrough in the various plane. So the sensual sphere. Remember, there are the four woeful states. So this is led by the unwholesome resultant investigating consciousness with equanimity. So the thing that link with this, you are linked to this particular woeful state is due to this unwholesome resultant investigating consciousness with equanimity. This one will result you in going to the this called woeful state. And then when you go to the other side here, from human to here the para. Here, the essential bliss pain, and this human. So your eight wholesome resultant consciousness and the unwholesome resultant investigating consciousness with equanimity. So the rebirth linking consciousness is due to this, eight of these wholesome resultant consciousness, plus the unwholesome resultant investigation gain consciousness with equanimity. Thus, you come to here. Okay, these are the what I call rebirth linking consciousness. And then for the five material sphere, there are total 16. So your rebirth linking consciousness is due to the five material resultant consciousness. So you'll come to here. So whichever rebirth linking consciousness you are destined to, so you'll be. And then the immaterial sphere, you are four in number. So you are due to the four immaterial resultant consciousness. So please remember all this rebirth linking consciousness that lead you to the next existence. So woeful state. So woeful state, there are four. Hell or niraya. These are the worst one. Okay. And then you committed very serious one, like our this Devadatta, he tried to kill Buddha, he ended down here. Okay. And the other one, yeah, is parents. Killing one's parents, the chances very heavy. That's why my teacher always mentioned when your parents are in ICU, whether you want to turn off the life supporting equipment, because once you turn off, the whole person become a disease. So by the time, so the moment the desire or the want, because some people find that staying ICU is, especially in Singapore, is very expensive. So many of the kids wouldn't understand, not willing to pay that kind of money. So if somebody asks the doctor to turn off, this, according to the Pali principle, is killing one's own parent. So it's up to you. But according to him, the intention of you to end the life is you. It's not the doctor. Doctor is partially. You are the full motivator of this turning off the life supporting machine. So this ambiguous thing, which until today nobody says is right or wrong. But to us Buddhists, practicing Buddhists, we try not to, because the intention to turn off even the parents got a very once in 99 chance of surviving. To remote, we just can't just, because by doing it, you committed this call of killing one's own parent. So if you do that, you'll likely be here. So the next one is animal kingdom, the Hirachana. This one, pretty easy to come here according to some of the texts they say. If you do bad thing, you have to come here to suffer, end your life, then maybe probably reborn back as human. And then next one, the Peta. So when you are They are called, Chinese tend to call it hungry ghosts, who are absolutely devoid of happiness. They are invisible to human beings, and they have no plane of their own, but live in forests, dirty surrounding, etc. in the human world. So Chinese tradition, they practice 7 months, the 7 lunar month, as those hell gates are open. So this thing, whether true or not, according to the Chinese or not, but this beta is around, not even 7 months. Every month, every moment they are there. Okay, especially in dark places, they are present there. And then plain asura, or what I call demon, they are sometimes called titans. They are similar to tormented petas who suffer most of the time. There are some asura who belong to a lower celestial plane. They suffer only at certain times. So I don't know for you whether agree or not. Especially in Thailand, they practice those so-called demon to protect you, offer you some things, especially the Thai monk. Which I wouldn't consider a monk because it's according to the Buddha Vinaya, they are out of the way. If Buddha's around, they will be disrupted. So this kind of people, they practice calling this asura to help them to achieve something. So this is the way which we are discouraged from doing such thing. So as a Buddhist, please don't practice this. So in this plane, they're suffering most of the time. Hence, they are called dugati, or unhappy state. So this one, especially the second one, easy to come. So we all Buddhists be mindful. Human realm, manusa loka. So to be born human, according to Buddha, is a blessing. Not every time you can come here on. According to one of the texts, they say it's like turtle out of how long, and then they can surface out to see the ocean, break the ocean water, and then see the sky. So we human should be a blessing because we are present with everything down there. Okay, for us to practice. Then you have the four great kings, the Chatu Maharaja. This one come and according to the Buddhist teaching, they come and collect the baby when this Queen Maha give birth. So these are the four guardian deities. So you can see in temple, you have these four great deities displayed in especially in Chinese temple. And the realm of the three god, Tawa Timsa. Okay, this is where the Buddha's mother was born there, be born there. And then the realm of Yama gods is another realm above. And then you got to know this Yama god is a classification for the celestial one, but they are called Yama for judgment one in the hell one. So this one, Devada too mentioned about that also. So there's a two different kind, one in celestial and then one in the what I call the judgment. And then the delightful realm to Sita. Okay. And then realm of gods who rejoice their own creation, Nimarati. These are gods who make something like create things like the earth from the clay. So they thought that they are good in creating lives. And then the realm of gods who lord over other creation. This one is higher than this particular god. So they call Paramita Vasati. So God Sakra is the lord over 2 and 3. And the sphere 2 to 7 are celestial realm or Deva Loka. So 11, the above 11 plus the earlier 4 constitute the Kama Vachara or sensual world. Okay. Then we come to the Rupa Vachara, the fine material. There are 16 in number. They are called the Brahma world or form planes. So to be qualified to this plane, one must have ability to attain the respective absorption, I mean jhana. So if you able to reach jhana at the time of death, so depend on your practice, so you'll be able to born to these various jhana plane. So being delighted in jhanic bliss achieved by renouncing the sensual desire. So when you practice the first jhana, very good. So you're qualified for this Brahma Ratitude or Brahma Parisa, the rank of Brahma Minister, Brahma Parohita, or the higher one, the Maha Brahma rank. So this is for first jhana. When you go to practice second jhana, this one, if you're good in jhana absorption, you are easy to come in and out from there. So these are people who can easily qualify to go to that particular plane. The realm of minor luster, Paritaba, realm of infinite luster, Apanaba, and the realm of radiant luster, Abhasara. And then when you practice higher, the third jhana, you are qualified the third jhana plane. The realm of minor aura, Parila Subha, the realm of infinite aura, Apanamana Subha, and the realm of steady aura, Subha Tin Haka. So when you even go higher, you go to the fourth jhana plane. And in Abhidhamma, it's called fifth jhana. The realm of great reward, Vipala, realm of minus bin, Asana Sata, where only body exists. There is no mind here. So be careful. This is a plane. If you attain here, you got long life, but you have a body, but no mind. So you cannot practice at all. And then you have the five abodes, pure abodes, Pancha, Suddha, Vasa, where only the Anagami and Arahants live. These five are durable RAM, Viha, serene RAM, Atapa, beautiful RAM, Sudasa, clear-sighted Sudasi, and the highest pure abode, Akanita. So Aryas are, sorry, a typing error, not born in the minus RAM, and Asana, Sata, and in woeful realms, the four Apaya. So for this one, they are qualified to be Arahant, so they are not mindless one. Mindless cannot practice. And we go further. The four Arupa planes are in this plane. Only the mind exists and there's no body matter, Rupa. The realm of infinite space, Akasana Yatanaya. Realm of infinite consciousness, Vinaya Yatanaya. Realm of nothingness, Akinchanayatanaya. Realm of neither perception nor non-perception, Nivasana Nasana Yatanaya. Okay, so this is plain, only the mind exists. There's no body. Akasana Chayatanaya. It's a Pali term used in Buddhist meditation practice, and in English it's a base of nothingness or the sphere of nothingness. I mean, you have the concept of everything is void. Okay. In the context of Buddhist meditation, it refers to the third level of four formless meditative absorption. Arupa, you call here is Arupa jhanas, which are in advanced state of concentration and beyond the material world. I mean, this is talking about formless one, where a breakdown of its meaning. Akasa means space or void. Nancha means nothing or none. So ayatana means base or sphere. So this is of higher kind of practice. So this is towards the void one. So this one is a meditative state where the practitioner focus on the perception of nothingness or the absence of all things. So this is a high profound state of concentration, where even the previous object of meditation, such as infinite space or infinite consciousness, is abandoned. This is a very, very high profound meditation. And the mind dwells in the experience of nothingness. Okay? Especially when Chinese talk about Kong. So this is what they experience, what they are talking about, nothingness. So what are in Buddhist meditation? The first formless absorption, infinite space. Okay. Second formless absorption, infinite consciousness. Okay. And go higher. Third formless absorption, nothingness. And then the fourth formless absorption, neither perception nor non-perception. So this is of the formless kind of meditation where you're able to get the formless kind of what I call jhanas. So in the sphere of nothingness, the meditator transcends the perception of infinite consciousness and enter a state where there's no object of focus, only the stubborn awareness of nothing. So when you hear, you are no object. Your object is the nothingness. So this is the highly refined state of mental concentration. But in Buddhism, it's still considered part of the conditioned samsara and not the ultimate goal of liberation, nibbana. So that's why to say Buddha said this even not out of nibbana. So this is only a conditioned state. Next term we are looking to is the Vijnana Chayatana. It's a Pali term used in Buddhist meditation. And the English translation is based of infinite consciousness or the sphere of infinite consciousness. So this term refers to the second level of the four formless meditation, the arupa jhanas, which are advanced state of concentration that transcend the material world. Here's a breakdown of its meaning. Vijnana means consciousness or awareness. Anatta means infinite or boundless. And then ayatana means base or sphere. Thus, this word, Vijnana Chayatana, is a meditative state where the practitioner focus on the perception, I mean, the thinking of the infinite consciousness. So in this state, the meditator moves beyond the perception of infinite space. I mean, the first formless absorption, and shift the attention to the boundless nature of the consciousness itself. So this is even higher than that. So what it means? So first one, it means the first formless absorption or infinite space. Akasana yatana. And then second formless absorption, infinite consciousness. Vijnana Chayatana. And then third formless absorption, nothingness. Akicana yatana. And then the fourth formless absorption, neither perception nor non-perception. Nivasana sayatana. So in the sphere of infinite consciousness, the meditator transcends the perception of infinite space and focus on the awareness of the consciousness itself is infinite and boundless. That means It's hard to explain. It's almost like he thinking beyond anything that can be so-called the five perception can measure. So it's a mental kind of thinking of the infinite space. So this simply defines state of concentration, light, but light, the other formless absorption is still considered part of conditioned world samsara and not the ultimate goal of liberation, nirvana. So it's still under the 31 realm of existence. So next term is the Akinachayatana. It's a Buddhist meditation. Its English translation is a base of nothingness or the sphere of nothingness. This term refers to the third level of the four formless meditative absorption, the arupa jhanas, where they are advanced state of concentration that transcend the material world. There's a breakdown in the meaning. Akincha means nothing or none. Nayatana means base or sphere. So when you use term Akincha Nayatana, is a meditative state where the practitioner focus on the perception of nothingness. So in this state, the meditator moves beyond the perception of infinite consciousness. So this is a second formless absorption and shift their attention to the absence of all things, dwelling in experience of nothingness. So this is also very hard to explain. It's a kind of meditation that go beyond the void kind. So you have various state of higher and higher one. So what are they? First, formless absorption, infinite space, akana sayatana. And then second, formless absorption, infinite. You see, one is space, one is consciousness, vyana chayatana. And then your third formless absorption, nothingness, akinayatana. Then your four formless absorption, neither perception nor non-perception, nevasanyasana yatana. So in the sphere of nothingness, the meditator transcends the perception of infinite consciousness and enters a state where there's no object of focus, only the stupor, awareness of nothingness. That means his mental object is empty. This is a highly refined state of mental concentration, but in Buddhism, it's still considered part of conditional world samsara and not the ultimate goal of liberation. So with fourth term, Nevasaya Nayatana is used in Buddhist meditation as English translation as base of neither perception. I mean, not perception nor non-perception. Okay, so or the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception. So there's no perception at all. So this term refers to the fourth and highest level of the four formless meditative absorption, we call arupa jhana, which is an advanced state of concentration that transcends the material world. There's nothing of its meaning. There's a breakdown of this meaning. Neva-sana means neither perception, and na-sana means no non-perception. So ayatana means base or sphere. So this term neva-sana sayatana is a meditative state where the practitioner enters a state of that's so stubborn and refined that it cannot be described as neither having perception or lacking of perception. It's a state of profound stillness and stubborn awareness and beyond the grosser level of mental activity. Okay, so this is one of the highest state they can achieve. So in the same way, you can go to the first formless absorption, infinite space, akasa yatana. And then second formless absorption, infinite consciousness, vyana chayatana. And third formless absorption, nothingness, akina chayatana. And fourth formless absorption, neither perception nor non-perception, nevayasana yatana. So in the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception, the meditator transcends the perception of nothingness and then enter a state where the mind is so stubborn that it moves beyond description. So this is the highest of the formless absorption and represent the pinnacle of meditative concentration in a formless realm. So same as the other formless absorption is still considered part of the conditioned world, samsara, and not the goal of liberation. So these are the talking about the formless absorption. Okay, so we finish all the state of realm of practice.
Excuse me, Brother Lau. Before we continue with the other topic, I would like to draw your attention to Brother Post. He has brought up two topics for discussion. It's in Brother Lau. Would you mind answer and do
Which
the
one you're talking
discussion?
to?
Brother Ko, would you like to read out your questions and topic for discussion, please? Brother Ko, or should I read? Okay, so I'll read out. The first message by Brother Ko is, on sensuous, blissful planes, it is wholesome, resultant investigating consciousness with equanimity or upeka, sahagata, santirana, kusala, vipaka, citta. And then the second message on patients in ICU, especially if it has been for some times already, the question one can ask, one, is it to bring peace or suffering to the patient? Second, is it sorry, I don't see this. Is it the lengthen the suffering by artificial means or to allow natural or karma to takes its course? The third one, these are the intention too. Which one can one consider, evaluate
Okay.
on it?
According to my teacher, is the natural one. The one let the patient decide him or herself. We wouldn't want to interrupt because we don't know whether the patient has a chance to survive. So when you turn off, he has no chance to survive. Okay? So the question is, are you the one responsible for turning off the light machine? That's what my principal used to explain us. That's why he asked, many of the doctor came and asked him about the outcome. So he said, in the Buddhist perspective, the person who want to turn off it means the intention. So especially you turn off for your parent, you're killing one parent. So are you going to be responsible for that?
Brother Lau, Brother Call has raised his hand. So, Brother Call, would you mind unmute?
Okay, thank you. So on if the patient is still aware, we can agree that the patient should decide for himself or herself. But if suppose
The patient in coma, no?
yeah, if the
Unless
patient in coma,
he
they
has
can't decide.
written a will, okay? He has written the will, stated down there to turn off in the scenario that he wouldn't want to have this. So the doctor will follow the will. So if there's no will, when it comes to the children, especially you are a Buddhist, according to my teacher, he said you're responsible for it.
Okay, thank you.
And the other one is what?
No, on the because on the reborn in blissful planes, that means
Yeah.
human and the 6 devas. Because your PowerPoint mentioned about unwholesome resultant.
That's what in the text say.
No, I think as far as I know, it should be wholesome resultant. That means the kusala santirana.
You
Kusala,
sure?
yeah, it's kusala. Is the unwholesome will be at the woeful state. That means that is their
Probably a typo
rebirth
error.
waiting. Okay.
Any more?
Uh, uh,
Especially parents one.
mm.
According to my principal, he always reminded me. I got no more
Yes.
parents, so I not more responsibility. All my parents go natural way. So especially nowadays, I mean, I would say in Singapore, I don't talk Malaysia. Many are accustomed with this problem of when the parents keep on dragging, they wouldn't want to leave. Okay, so they hang on and hang on. And the ICU, remember Singapore hospital, is no fun. Government no pity you. You have to pay and pay and pay. Okay, so come to this decision, many of them ask them to turn off. So is it right or is it wrong? I just can't, but according to my principal, he says it's wrong.
The other thing I think we face is this in the past, because when I heard from my parents and my grandmother, normally during their period of time, if the doctors feel that there is no hope, they will normally recommend to the family members that you bring them back to your house and let nature take its course. Okay? But somehow nowadays, doctors don't do that. You see? So they just uh, don't give that as a one option for whatever reasons. So as a result, many of the children being non-medical, they have difficulties making decisions. And because they have no idea what is in life, so they normally prefer not to make decisions. But that also prolong the sufferings in a way lah. But whether he's suffering or not, we do not know. Because if he's in coma, how do we know? How do we communicate with him? So that is the other issue that I'm asking. Whether we bring peace or do we bring suffering to the patient by being hooked to the machines, is it? And I think some of the doctors also is very practical. They say, if you look at it, they don't really enjoy good life and they are under sedation to bring down their so-called pain or whatever so that they are more comfortable because they can't move. So definitely the body would be very difficult. It's just like when we sleep, if we don't turn our body, even the heat itself is so unbearable.
Yeah, I understand.
So the some of the doctors who are especially Buddhist, they ask, do you really prolong their suffering or do you intend to give them a better life? So if you think that you wanted to prolong their suffering, then hook on that. But if you say that you want nature to take place, what is meant by nature? You can't consider the machine as nature, right? It wasn't there in the past. It was there now because of what you call modernization of medical facilities. So this is artificial, isn't it? So these are some of the questions that was posed uh, during our Dharma discussion. And I feel that is logical too. See? So I'm bringing this idea out for discussion, whether we really prolong their suffering or we prolong their happiness. But if that person is on meditative mode, for example, he is a regular practitioner and he knows how to go into jhana, then of course, when you sedate them, then it's easy for that person to bring up their jhana and be in the blissful state. So that I would say, okay, good. Then maintain the ICU facility. But if we know that there is a person who has no meditation practice, and there's no way they can be in jhana, so I tend to believe or I tend to think that we are prolonging the suffering. So if it's prolonging the suffering, then I would not want to consider that as good option. So one way, because my two parents are still around, so normally we try to actually talk to them when they are in good mode and talk about, of course, you have to introduce the idea of death. And then after that, you progress to asking them, okay, if you have such condition, what would you do? What do you want it to be done? How do you want it to be done? These are the options. And hopefully they can come up with some decisions for us and we write it down for them. So this is one way.
Still the best thing,
Mm.
is if you or me, you come to a state that you have to decide yourself. So when you put the will, not to put on a life supporting machine, then the doctor, your these relatives will not have the consequent answer yes or no. So I think it's a right. If we
So
people
then
come to certain age, we have to decide and then file in a lawyer letter. Then he himself responsible, not of the son or daughter to responsible for all this. So it's best to have a will. When you're on life supporting machine, please turn it off. One of my friends already did that.
So you
it's
also
a
have to make sure
safeguard.
that it's clear in a sense, what do you mean by when you are in supporting machine? Because
I mean, you need breath, you need put all that thing, all need aid to pump it in. I
but this
mean, you
could
are in a
be
coma state.
no, but this could be initial part also, because initial part it may still be possible to recover. For example, when the person is stroke and then suddenly fall into coma, but then there is still
It's
a
very
chance.
subjective. So I mean this particular guy, a friend of mine, already put in his will to do that. So nobody responsible. He responsible for himself. In such a day that if he put on a machine to turn it off, he wouldn't want to put on a machine. So this is one way to protect others from getting the bad karma.
So this is the second stage that we discuss also, because the first stage is for your parents, because your parents may not understand, okay? So the first stage you talk to your parents, then after that we convince ourselves that okay, it's better for us to write it down. And then after we write it down, we have to inform our children or family members that we have done this so that they know. And when situation arises, they know where to look for the document so that they can produce the document for the doctors to refer. Then at least the doctors know, oh, okay, this patient has decided this is the way and it has come to this stage. Okay, the doctor will decide for you and do it accordingly.
That's why the Western, they practice this euthanasia. You know what I mean? Euthanasia, which is, I don't know, is it right or is it wrong? But according to my teacher, it is wrong.
Yeah, that comes to another question is about committing suicide.
Yes, committing suicide is wrong.
So euthanasia is more like committing suicide, you see. But there is also another gray area because there are patients who have what you call
They don't want to
impossible,
suffer. There are some who don't want to
to
suffer.
recover. They don't want to suffer, so they are avoiding the suffering. So in a way, because of trying to avoid the suffering, they opt for taking
Shortcut.
off their life.
Yeah.
Okay? But that one is by artificial means. It's not by nature. Okay? So that is it's not so gray. It is more clear cut. That means, okay, it's because of a choice of the intention is very strong. I don't want to live on because of the suffering. But if the intention is say, okay, I do not want to live, but I will live, let karma take its course. That means if the pain comes, I will go through the pain and let the so-called the effect take its full course. Then I will pass on. Okay? That is another consideration, but that consideration can be very different because the intention is different.
That's why one of my relative, rich one, the father, mother also towards the end of life. This guy suddenly at around 20 something, suddenly in coma. And from that day until I think over 2 years, then the most expensive hospital, Mount Elizabeth in Singapore. But the guy, rich guy, so can support. And finally, the second year, put back at home, take care. But also finally have to gone. So spend over $1 million.
So you see, if the karma is not right, they won't die one. So even if bring back home without the ICU, they'll still go on. Their life still continue. Okay? So when you take off the ICU, off the ICU or the machine, it doesn't mean that the person will die. Yeah? It's just that the karma has not wear off. The vipaka has not wear off yet. So in a way, if we were to leave it in the ICU, you are not only causing the suffering of the patient, you're also causing the suffering for the living. Okay? So that was one of the approach that some of the Buddhist doctors look at it from this perspective. Okay? So do we really prolong, or do we what you call prolong the suffering, or do we bring a better life to the person? Okay?
In this the science field, they tend to say when life no value, you cut off. But who one responsible for it? Unless the patient himself agree to it. If not, if the children have to put the order lah. So when put the order is a intention already.
Yeah, lah. Somehow somebody have to decide one. Even the person, the patient himself, is also an intention there already. So that means when you're in ICU, okay, the intention is to continue living, or the intention is to, okay, maybe as what you say, to
Turn
not to
off
bring
the
the
life
burden to
supporting
the
machine.
children.
That's what one of my friend did.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we continue. 2 So let's stop for a while. Then after 5 minutes, we come back.
Okay, we'll rest.
Okay, thank you.